wonderful YouTube family. Lisa A. Romano here, the Breakthrough Life Coach, and today we're going to be discussing how difficult it is to leave a narcissist, how difficult it is to wake up and realize that you're codependent, and what you can do on your path to stay true to the self while you're in the process of leaving a narcissist, or just waking up to the idea that you're codependent and that you really don't have a self. The reality is you have a self, you're just not connected to the self. And it sounds very woo-woo, but essentially what that means is that it's sort of like you're walking around as a robot, unaware that there's a true spirit being inside of you. And it's a very wobbly awakening when you realize that, holy crap, where have I been? I'm 60 years old, or I'm 70 years old, or I'm 50, or I'm 40, or I'm 30. And my entire life I've spent outside of myself, like attached, almost psychically attached to ideas that exist outside of me, concerned about what people think about me, worrying about gaining other people's validation, seeking praise, wanting people to agree with me, because I couldn't imagine someone not agreeing with me, because that triggered the idea that I'm not enough, and so many of us who are codependent feel like we're not enough. That to me, that is like our mortal wound, like I'm not enough. And so, when we're out to dinner or when we're talking to people and they blow us off, it's like that deep wound, like I'm not enough. It's sort of like someone scratches the scab off that wound. And lots of us, we all react in different ways. When I was very young, if that happened to me, I would react wounded, and I would retreat, and I would withdraw from society, from the world, and I would just stay in my room as this, lonely little girl, and so afraid that people don't think that I'm enough. And as I got older, I began to get very aggressive and outward. So if someone, insinuated that I wasn't enough, or if that pain, that scab was ripped off, like I would react. I would have a big mouth, and I would become very opinionated. And I never realized that those were symptoms of being codependent and really being attached to what other people thought about me, and being really wrapped up in trying to impress people and constantly seeking other people's validation, especially when it came to men. And I realize now that it all goes back to never having gained my father's validation, or never having gained, my mother's validation, and how the child being that I was, this soul being that I was always seeking to have that milestone met. And it was very sad waking up and realizing, like, oh my God, my whole life I've been hoping that people will just accept me, which is so effed up, because that means that we're putting our sense of self in other people, and those people, who the hell are they? I mean, they're not any more important than you or I. No one's more important than you, and you're not more important than anyone else. And this idea that our validation or our worthiness is somehow connected or tied to something outside of ourselves is just really sick. But I do believe that we are a society that's been bred and conditioned to believe that, yes, your worth is conditional, and yes, you have to look a certain way, you have to act a certain way, you have to be a certain weight, you have to be married, you have to be heterosexual, whatever it is. There are these ridiculous ideas outside of ourselves that we unknowingly accept. And it's not our fault, because when we were children, that's when all these false ideas are being downloaded into our virgin brains. And those of you who have not done my latest meditation, I suggest that you do, and please let me know what you think. It's a 30-minute meditation, and I downloaded it with alpha brainwave frequencies that help reduce anxiety and will allow you to calm the mental chatter long enough so that you can start accepting different ideas into your subconscious mind. So let's talk about the steps that you can take while you're on the beginning of this journey. And for those of you, a lot of you recently have been asking me, well, how do I stay true to myself? I'm leaving the narcissist, and how do I stay true to my path he's still living at home and I have to deal with him. And so I'm going to give you some how-tos that work for me, and I hope that they work for you. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to exercise the tool of detachment. Dear ones, this is codependency. This is detachment. This is codependency. This is detachment. Codependents do this. There's a constant tug of war. And both sides are trying to control the other. So when I was codependent, I was trying to control how my husband saw me with my first marriage. When he was codependent, he was really trying to control my emotions. So if he knew, and I believe he knew this, he knew that I sought his validation, he deliberately withheld his validation. If he knew that I made him a wonderful meal and I was eager for him to come home and taste this good meal that I cooked for him, he deliberately withheld the thank yous and the praise. It was just a little too salty, or it was just, it's a little too watery, or not enough butter. There was always something that it wasn't enough. And he did that deliberately. And that's the way he controlled my emotions. And that's what kept this codependent tango in balance. And then I would feel wounded, and then I would persecute him. And then he would say, oh, okay, I'm sorry. And nothing really changed. It was just round and round and round and round. And that was really our dynamic. That's why I ended up with anxiety and panic disorder, because nothing got finished. Nothing got solved. We never got from point A to point B. It was a ridiculous way to live. And I don't suggest living that way, because it's not living. And I believe that we're all angels, and we're all meant to fly. Here our spirits are boundless. And codependency is like dirt that's on our wings. So we're trying to flap the dirt off our wings so we can finally feel liberated and free as spirits, in these physical suits called the human body. So the first thing I want you to do is exercise detachment. And how you do that is you slow down the mental chatter. And that's why in all my private one-to-ones and in all my group coaching sessions, in my teleclasses and my workshops, I insist that people begin a meditation practice. If you're very resistant to it, at least stop 3 times a day for 5 minutes a day and just slow down the mental field in your car. Go into the ladies' room and just sit on the toilet and shut your eyes for 5 minutes. Just let the thoughts come and go, come and go. Don't attach to the thoughts. Your mental field is just a television. And it's all it is flashing the programming, just like cable television, and just like Bravo TV or whatever the hell you watch in your spare time or whatever. Your mental field is nothing more than a television screen flashing the programs of the past that have been pre-recorded. And now you, as a conscious being who's unaware, you're paying attention to what's flashing in the mental field, and you're attaching to it. So it's sort of like you thinking that you're part of, the Housewives show, or that, you are actually living with them in Orange County or whatever, So this programming that we have in our head, we sometimes, my hair is I'm sweating, I'm going through hot flashes and stuff. Forgive me, dear ones. But anyway, when you have these mental images in your head, if you're not creating the mental images, then it's programming. I know it's really really woo-woo, but stop the tape, rewind it, listen to what I just said again, and eventually you'll get it. So what I want you to do is slow the mental field, slow down the mental chatter so that you can see what's happening. The second step would become the fly on the wall in your own skull, meaning learn to observe the way your mind is thinking. See the way your mind is thinking. So just like you sit back and you watch television, I want you to sit back and watch the programs that are floating through your mind. Okay, you don't have to react to the thoughts that are showing up. You have the ability to objectify the thought and to think, wow, what's that about? The second step brings me obviously to the third step. You want to objectify the data. So when you slow down the mental field, now you're in control. Now you're understanding I don't have to react to that anger. If your brother calls you up and he's stirring the pot, you can observe the codependency in your brother, and you can observe your desire to want to react to your brother and not react. Fabulous. Who the hell knew that we could do that? Well, when you begin to heal from codependency, that's one of the golden nuggets that you discover, that you don't have to be reactionary. You know, people can say things to you and you don't have to react. It's awesome. You know, I love my brother, but he's a pot stirrer. And I have learned over the years to go, okay, here it comes. Here comes the big spoon. Here it comes. He's going to say something. He's going to stir my pot. He's going to stir my pot, but I'm not jumping in. I'm just going to observe what he's done, and I'm going to let him know, listen, you know what? You're getting a little too close to something that hurts me, and I'm just going to go. Okay, so have a nice day. Click, and then let it go in love and light. Do a meditation. Do whatever you got to do to get back into alignment with the vibration you want to exist in. Don't let people jack with your vibration anymore. Okay, so the next thing I want you to do is I want you to start deliberately thinking. So that's where intention comes in. If you are not deliberately thinking your thoughts, then you are recycling the tape, dear ones. And as a human being, what a waste of a life. What a waste of a life to just recycle the tape. When you have the ability to deliberately think, to deliberately choose what kind of life experiences you want to experience. It's amazing. Again, you know, as codependents, we don't think that we have a choice. So we settle for what shows up. And that is just not the truth. We have the ability to think about what we want to achieve in our life and what kind of relationships we want to have. What color hair do we want to have? Like, once you get past like worrying about what people think about you, and you understand that most people are asleep and most people are going to judge you because they're asleep, and you're like, okay, I got it, in love and light, like, you know, you're a codependent and you're going to judge me. That's what codependents do, and I'm good with that, because underneath it all, I know that I'm enough. So judge me. It's okay. That's not a projection. That's your projection onto me. That's your stuff. You know, whatever you see in me is because that's been done to you. People who judge have been judged. So if you're being judged, understand that that's their stuff. And your job is to not judge them back, because you want to cut that psychic cord. So I say, let them judge you. Let them judge you, and then just say, okay, in love and light, and then cut that psychic cord, and then you ascend higher. It's fabulous when you figure out how this stuff works, dear one. Okay, so we want to start introducing the idea of choice. So I just had a fabulous coaching session with a wonderful woman from Atlanta. And what we decided to do is that because codependents feel like they don't have a choice, we've decided to shake up her routine. So this week she's not gonna cook anything that she's ever cooked before. This week she's gonna wear new clothing. This week she's gonna do her hair differently every day. It's a matter of helping you understand that you have choice. The brain needs to be taught new information. So we've got to get in there and free it up, okay? Because there's a solution to every problem. Codependents have been taught to live in states of helplessness, to live in states of survival. And the ability to think and choose was taken away from us a long time ago. And it's about damn ass time that we start understanding that we do have a choice, that we are not stapled to the floor. We're not stapled to the floor. Our spirit is boundless. We've just got to come into alignment with what's right for us and love ourselves to the point where we can let go of people who are harming to us in love and light, and we can go ascend and do what we have to do our light work, whatever, on this planet before we die and before we transcend. You know, we've got a lot of work to do as light workers, and it's awesome once you figure out how this all manifests. And the key to manifesting true life experiences that you want to experience. You don't have to settle for what shows up anymore, dear ones. I'm so itchy. Okay, so now, in terms of thinking about what you want, what kind of life experiences that you want, you have to start understanding that it's not, and Esther Hicks does a great job explaining this, it's not the thing that we want, that we think that we want is going to bring us happiness. It's the vibration or the feeling in the having of that thing that we really want. So if you want a white Mercedes, it's not the Mercedes that you're looking to achieve. It's the vibration that you think, or the feeling that you're going to have once you manifest that white Mercedes. So in terms of the law of attraction, the couple things that you have to keep in mind, and this is where I think Esther Hicks, I really wish that she would watch this video, because she's so incredibly powerful. But the one message that I hear missing from her message is that if you don't feel worthy of that which you are desiring, you can't have it. So if you're going to all these workshops, these Abraham Hicks workshops, and you're listening to Abraham Hicks and you're wondering about your future love, your twin flame, and you're worried about the right job for you, and you're thinking about how can I manifest more abundance. The bottom line is, dear one, if you don't feel worthy of that abundance, you cannot attract abundance. You cannot attract abundance from a lack vibration. So if you're scraping the hell out of your arms with your deodorant because you're down to it's got like this much left, and now you're scraping yourself with the plastic deodorant sticks because you're not going to buy a new deodorant stick until every ounce of that deodorant is out of that little tube. That's a lack vibration. If you're scouring the newspaper for a coupon, that's a lack vibration. If you're driving 5 miles to save 5 cents on a gallon of gas, that's a lack vibration. You cannot attract abundance from a lack vibration. You just can't do it. If you want to attract love and you don't love yourself, you can't attract love. You can't do it. You can't attract what you want living in a state of actively in a vibration aware that you don't have what you want. You just can't do it. So it's about training your mind to seek vibrations that are in alignment with that which you want to achieve. So if you want to achieve abundance, you have to start feeling abundant. So think about the air. Think about what in your reality is absolutely abundant. So think about air. Air is abundant. Think about trees. Trees are abundant. Think about grass. Grass is abundant. Think about people. There's an abundance of people. Think about whatever, things in your environment. Think about all the cars that you see in a day. Find ways to think about abundance right here, right now, and then that's how you'll begin to understand the resonance of abundance. If you want to attract love, you've got to learn to love everything. You've got to come into alignment with your situation as it is. If you're a single mom and you have 3 kids like I was, I had to come into alignment with that. I had to say, this is my reality. I had to do the 1, 2, 3 process. Accept how you feel what you feel, decide what you want to do about it, run it through 3 filters, A, B, and C. A is what can I control? What can I control? And the C is what vibration do I want to reside in 90% of the time. So if you're a single mom with 3 kids, or you're just divorcing your 3rd narcissist, or you're 67 and you're finally waking up, what can you control? You can control whether or not you focus on things that are negative that day. You can control whether or not you focus on what you don't have or what you do have. What can't you control? You can't control that you're freaking 67. You are 67. That's just the way it is. You can't control whether or not you're divorced 5 times. You are divorced 5 times. It's done. The third filter is what vibration do I want to reside in 90% of the time? Because the vibration that you reside in 90% of the time is going to be your attracting point. And I write about this in Quantum Tools. If you want to understand more about your emotional set point, I suggest you get that book. And those of you who want to incorporate the law of attraction into your healing process, I really think that's the book for you, because it'll help you understand your emotional set point and how you can take more responsibility for it. And so that's you want to seek the vibration that you're seeking. So if you want to manifest abundance, seek that vibration. If you want to manifest love, love everything. Love your feet, love your toes, love your fingernails, love your skin, love your liver, love your eyes, love your hair, love whatever you have to. Just milk the vibration of love. The universe isn't looking at your damn resume. The universe doesn't care if you're 2'2", or if you're 6'7", or if you're 300 pounds or 800 pounds. The universe doesn't care if you're an oak tree or a caterpillar or a dolphin or a human being. The universe doesn't care. The universe responds to your vibration. Gain control over your vibration. You're having your ex is starting a fight with you. Don't let him jack your vibration. Yes, him to death. Okay, no problem. I'm a bitch. Yep. Okay, you're right. I'm a bitch. Yep. Yeah. The goal is to not let what he's saying or what she's saying jack with your vibration. That's really what we have to learn to do, step by step. The last thing that I want to leave you with is this idea that when you think you can't, you don't. And when you think you can, you do. So when you think that you can't as a codependent, and the can't can be anything. I can't leave. I can't get better. I'll never get better. This is too hard. Then your reality will match that vibration, the can't vibration. When you think that you can, then, and you really, really, really believe that, and little by little, you never give up, right? This is an incremental journey. When you think that you can, it's amazing, because that's when you do. That's when you do begin to heal. That's when you do put the work in. And I have to say it again, you cannot heal from codependency in one video. You'll feel the message, like your body will get goosebumps, and you'll have an aha moment, but it'll be like this in your mind. Whoop, the window will close, because the programming is ingrained. And so, and I had another session today with a private client, and it was an aha moment for her, and I'll share it with you. The aha moment for her was that, so the programming never goes away? No, the programming is there. Our job as healing codependents is to lay down new tracks. Our goal as codependents is to reprogram the mind. Our goal as codependents is to accept that we can't do anything about what our parents or what society, what our religions, what they have done to our subconscious mind. That's been done. Our job is to lay down new tracks and to drown out the old programs, and then to respect that, you know, on a day-to-day basis, our consciousness goes up and down, up and down. We're always in different brainwave states. So the less aware you are, so if this is awareness, like a heightened state of awareness, the less aware you are, let's say you're driving. It doesn't take a lot of awareness to drive, because, you know, you're almost on autopilot when you drive. So when you're at this level of awareness, guess what? That's really close to all the subconscious programming. So that's when you'll notice that your mind starts to wander. And where does it wander? It wanders in the forest of all the old programming. So you might hear yourself become very critical of the person driving next to you. You might hear yourself becoming judgmental of the girl who just walked by with the purple hair. It's none of your business what color hair she has, dear one. Just saying. And it's no one's business what color your hair is, dear one. So that's for another video. But you have to appreciate that the goal is to be up here. We want to constantly milk conscious states of awareness, and that helps you rewind the tape, and that helps you create new thoughts and new belief patterns, and ultimately that will lead you out of the codependent mind, and you ascend out of the codependent mind. It's all about ascension. It's all about climbing up the ladder to higher states of self-awareness, and ultimately, hopefully you get to a point where you realize that in you is everything, and everything is you, that there is really no such thing as separation. On a quantum level, we're all light form. That's all we are. And in terms of the if you will, the organic register in the universe, it can only register vibration. And so the higher that you resonate with accepting who you are and loving the fact that you are a manifester and you're a creator, the higher that you resonate with loving yourself, the more you're able to deliberately create. It's just awesome, dear ones. Let me know what you think. If you're interested in downloading any of my lessons, you can get them at www.lisaaromano.com in MP3 form. My books are available at amazon.com and barnesandnoble.com. And if you are interested in any of my upcoming group coaching classes, I think I'm going to try to put 2 group coaching classes together a month. So you can find, if you're interested in more information, just write me join my newsletter, because all this information comes out in my newsletter. You can join my newsletter. It's not the contact form. A lot of you are confused. You're contacting me and I love it. I love getting your emails. But the newsletter is below the contact form. So please, join up for the newsletter so you can stay informed about all the upcoming events and the group coaching classes and whatever else is. Oh, and you also get free codependency worksheets when you join up for the newsletter. I look forward to hearing from you soon. Dear ones, let me know what you think.